What's going on, guys? This is Carl Ragavan, UK's original starting strength coach, walking back from the gym. Got another subject to talk about. As you can see, there is a pink protein shake cup, and that is because we are talking about protein. So I think, just like walking, the subjects about food, nutrition, intake, what you're putting in your body, we need to start at very simple baseline topics. So whenever I get a new client and they don't really have a strict regime yet, or they're looking for guidance on what it is they should be doing on the food front, to me, the first thing is always protein. 200 grams of protein a day, right? Mia Inman said this to me once, and it was so profound. 200 grams of protein is 800 calories. It's really not that much food. If you space it out, 3-4 servings, it's really not a big deal. Sometimes you need to get organized, like you got to bring some protein to the gym, or you got to prep your meals, or a food prep company. You just got to get with it. It's part of the routine. You're now training to be a lifter, and if you want to be in the discussion of being taken seriously, you kind of need to adhere to maybe a little walking, maybe eat some more protein, and train 3 days a week. You know, when we have these kind of baseline structures down, then we can start manipulating the dials a bit more personalized to you. But to me, I don't really care what religion or cult you follow when it comes to food. As long as you do get 200 grams, okay, females maybe slightly less, maybe 180, 175, but it's a given. You kind of need to create a lifestyle where you're at least gaining lean muscle mass at first, right? And in order to build muscle, you need protein. So to me, 200 grams of protein is the first starting point to giving food advice. So again, I think it's important to create very realistic targets to lifestyle changes, like walking, consuming protein 200 grams a day. I think these things need to kind of be put in place so it creates the habits and routines and rituals that set you up for success. Because again, if I say on Monday you're gonna have like porridge and fucking chicken salad for lunch and steamed veggies and fish, if I have a meal plan all designed for you and you don't hit that meal plan, you're going to be even more defeated and feel even more negative going into your workout. And to me, the first thing, the most important thing, is that you should train 3 days a week. Of course, I do want you to do the other things as discussed, but a lot of what you're going to learn initially is technique and that skill of practicing all the lifts, and just showing up consistently 3 days a week will be the training. Almost success rate will go up exponentially just by you fucking training. But if you do all these other things, eat enough protein and get organized, don't just eat a bunch of junk and think that squats and deadlifts are going to fix a bad diet. You can't outrun a bad diet. Hasn't changed, always is that way. So again, when it comes to protein sources, again, I'm someone who wants to give you the most easiest in terms of what's going to give you the most bang for your buck. So, I actually consider whey protein. I don't really consider it like a supplement. I see it as like a snack. It's just a very simplified form of food that just gets into your bloodstream and absorbed quickly. So of course it's perfect for training because you just whack it in your bag. 3 scoops, any less than 2 scoops you're pretending. So you know, you get at least 50-75 grams of protein already, whang, in that serving. I think, you know it's one of those things, but if you have to make me choose, protein needs to have a soul. It needs to have eyeballs. If it didn't fly, run or swim, that's not the protein I want to consume. Sure, if you're vegan or vegetarian, there's a way to make complete proteins, and now more than ever we're in a space where you can still hit a protein target like 200 grams a day and be good. But again, if you're asking me for what my opinion is, I would go for animal proteins without a doubt. And again, 200 grams of protein a day is a target to shoot for. If you undershoot or if you overshoot, that's okay. But the main issue is that we're talking about this, right? We can't talk about other details about food and nutrition if we can't even have an organized protein goal, right? It makes sense. Well, at least to me it makes sense. The other thing which is so nice about having a more loosely framed goal like this is that if we say like 200 grams of protein and we don't put a face to it, like it has to be chicken and this every day, at least then you can actually mix it up. Not every day do you want to have ground beef and vegetables or oven baked fish, right? So I feel like out of all the things from a training perspective, as long as you're keeping the main structures the same, like having a certain amount of protein a day, carbs, fats, whatever, alcohol, that's my favorite macro, but I'm joking. But yeah, it's something that I find personally myself that I'll go through phases of having, for example, like 6 scrambled eggs in the morning, and I'll have that for like 6 months, and then I'll just get bored of it and I'll need to mix to another protein, or whatever that is. So again, when I have a moment in my food regimen that I don't want to eat 6 scrambled eggs for breakfast, you have the choice. You're not tied down. So to me, having a more loosely framed target, 200 grams of protein, feels very freeing in a way, because my appetite, depending on what country I'm in, if it's hot or cold, or if they have certain types of food in season or that are damn cheap, things which are good value. If you're eating a lot of protein, it's expensive. So all these factors play into my decision of what I consume, and it should be taken into account. You shouldn't have to just live on whatever the new craze is, carnivore, paleo, whatever it is, and that is your regimen forever until you die. So there it is. 200 grams of protein is the first dietary target I try and give to clients. If you think that's a good idea, or if you don't, if you like this video, comment, like, share, subscribe. But at the end of the day, the consistency is where it's at. So if you're in Edinburgh, Scotland right now and you haven't signed up, I'm doing a lifting camp starting strength. We're going to go through the squat, and then part 2 is the deadlift power clean. If you sign up for both, you get a discount. This is a really good value. I'm not always around in Scotland, so this is your chance to get some coaching in real time, listen to some lectures about programming, and ask me some Q&A, get some form checks on these lifts, especially the power cleans. I know people like to slack on the power cleans. So this is your chance to get one-to-one coaching. So if you like this video, comment, like, share, subscribe, you know the deal. And if you have any other interesting topics for me to discuss, hit me a bell. Remember, if you need me, check out beautifulstrengthgym.com, BEA, beautifulstrengthgym.com. I could be your online coach. The barbell never lies.